So the last 3 years, you were a big Gerard Mayo guy last year? You loved tuning in on the Gerard Mayo season of him coaching?
Was done. You were done with New England until all of a sudden they are good this year.
They're good. Mike Vrabel and Drake May.
I was disgusted when you called Gerard Mayo an ass clown last year because he made fun of his team because he said something like, when they step across the paint, it's their responsibility.
Not my problem anymore.
Yeah.
Like, totally.
You called him an ass clown for that comment, and that offended me. But I kept everything bottled up internally. And then my guy Vrabel came back, and it came to me this morning when it was like 8-2. I'm like, that's my team.
Yeah, well, what a time.
That is my team.
What a time for an awakening. Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
That is very fitting.
If they were 2-8, what? No comments, no nothing. That's it.
Noodles. Somebody pulled me aside and said, if you're going to support an NFL team, it's got to be thick and thin. I disappeared a tiny bit in the down years, but I just realized you got to be a fan, a real fan. And I'm sticking with New England, man. I'm a New England fan.
That's resilience, man. That's a real testament to your resilience to get through it when now they're 8-2 and the Bills are getting pumped by the Dolphins and they look like a disaster.
Well,
and their turkey coach is driving by the elbow room in his souped-up Mercedes or whatever the hell car he's driving with his glasses.
That couldn't have been real. Was that a real
Noodles.
troll,
Mike
man?
McDaniel, by all accounts, Mike McDaniel went by the elbow room, which I guess has been a noted Bills, traveling party destination, exactly. And he went by and trolled them, which I actually kind of appreciate. You might as well go out with a bang. Like, he knows he's done. That's the biggest win he's going to have all year. They beat up on the Bills. Good for them. And there he is, driving by the elbow.
Like, arm out the window.
Loving life. And that kind of ends the whole idea that coaches are living at the stadium, doesn't it? Like, I know that was a 1 o'clock game, but it was still bright out there on the East Coast.
Dude, every other coach is like, I didn't leave the building until
midnight, 1, 2 a.m.
4:30 a.m.
That guy disappeared before the players got out of there.
Yeah, 7:30. He's driving by there, like honking the horn.
Latest. Going by the elbow room.
I'll tell you one thing I heard from some colleagues last night. I heard a bunch of different things from some high-ranking executives from TSN because we were down at the building last night, and all of what I call the upper brass was hanging around. One comment was, the Bills need to fire their coach ASAP, which I found shocking.
It is
shocking. And he was dead serious. This gentleman said, that's it. That's enough. And I said, well, there might be some merit to that. And the other thing I'll save before we go to break, and I'll just tease it so we can get into it at 4:30 because it is a doozy.
Okay.
A doozy hockey-related.
All right, you have a hockey-related comment that you're going to mention later that we'll get into after the next break. Okay, I like that idea. A double tease. A double tease.
Well, it's a double tease in a potential quiz question.
Okay.
Do you think McDermott's in trouble there, Brian?
No, he's not going anywhere. Of course not. The Bills are – listen, they're not playing great. They don't look great. They've won the AFC East, 4 or 5 years in a row. They make it to the playoffs every single year. He's not getting fired in November when they have a winning record and they're still – well in the playoff hunt. So McDermott's not going anywhere. Brandon Beane's not going anywhere. But they're pissed in Buffalo, man.
Well, they should be, but only Dable gets fired. But Dable deserved to be, but it was probably should have been a while. It should have been weeks ago.
That's the bigger question.
I'm so glad I don't have to see Dable behind the scenes talking to young college quarterbacks, acting like he's so smart and the greatest coach. Wasn't there was some kind of controversy when Dable got hired. I think that Bill Belichick texted Brian Flores to congratulate him on getting the Bills job, and he meant to text Brian Dable.
Yes,
you remember that?
There was something like that, and that's what led to Flores suing the league or something like that. That I remember the details on that. Belichick definitely did screw something up. He sent a text to the wrong person, and it wasn't supposed to be announced yet, or someone had not interviewed yet, and they were supposed to interview. Yeah. But I do wonder if the Dable, medical tent stunt was basically the end, and they said, we'll give you 2 more weeks.
I guarantee you those doctors went to ownership and said, never again will that ball guy come and hassle me in that tent.
Yeah.
Because that was insanity.
I forgot about that. He was in there screaming and yelling.
One of the craziest stories of the year, Noodles.
Yeah.
I know.
Chasing
That's their
Jackson
future
Dart.
right there. That's their future right there.
Yeah, look at this cat. What are you doing?
Look at Dable taking his headset off.
What's
looking
going
in there.
on?
Yeah, let's go. We need him.
And
Let's
after
go.
the game, he was claiming, I just needed to know if I could take the timeout.
Right. As if that's the
Crazy
job of
ass
the
stuff,
doctor to determine timeout philosophy. It's just
That's
an
true.
absurd interaction.
That was the end, man.
That was the beginning of the end for Brian Daboll. So he has been fired by the Giants, and Luke is coming up. You might have to fire Luke at 5 o'clock, or someone's getting fired today
where
on
are
our
we
show.
at
Dude,
here?
I'll
Is it
resign.
plus 12?
It's a disaster.
I'll
Noodles.
resign.
I'm
Plus
on
12.
the text chain. I'm on the text chain, and it's just like, I emoji, here we go again. And then you guys had one win yesterday, and it's like, here we go. And then Al's brother with a dagger.
We don't lose. Al's brother and I do not miss. We went 3
Yeah.
for 3 this week, and that's the problem. The pace car is a jacked up Ferrari, and these guys are
We're driving
bike.
Al's brother's Hyundai Pony.
you're in Al's brothers.
Yeah, we
Hyundai
stole Al's brother's Hyundai Pony, and we're driving that behind you guys.
You guys are in a Ferrari.
And we're driving a souped-up McLaren, and
Yes.
you guys have
And-
no chance.
in Abu Dhabi. You
Yeah.
guys are driving a souped-up McLaren in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
And we're chugging along behind in a red, rusted-out Hyundai Pony.
That's right. Yes, that's accurate. So we'll see. We'll get to Luke a little bit later. Davis Schneider coming up today. Can't wait to catch up with him just after 5. And listen, there's a lot to get into today. Something to chew on features the Bills. It also features the Oilers. And it also features the Leafs. So I think you can kind of connect the dots on where that's going. And we'll get to that a little bit later this hour. But, man, these Leafs, you were down there last night. The Hall of Famers were in the house. It was a great night, great production. What a class. They're all going in tonight. Just an incredible class of Hall of Famers going in. And it's always an electric weekend. You have a home – you have back-to-back home games on a weekend. That rarely happens in the league. Very rarely do you get a Saturday, Sunday prime time where all eyes are on you. Saturday night, Original Six, hockey night. Sunday, it's Hall of Fame game under the lights. Like, you can't really – no other team in the league can match it. No other team in the league has anything close to that, like what the Leafs had, because the Hall of Fame is obviously in town, and it's always hosted by the Leafs every single year. So the whole league is in town. That's another thing. I'm sure you can speak to it. Oh, you were there. Everyone's here. Everyone's here. All the Hall of Famers are here, owners, GMs, all the dignitaries around the sport, for the most part, are in town, and they're down at the game. And if you didn't watch either game, you'd say, oh, those are close. Coin flip. The Leafs must have had a chance. Like, they were right there. Too bad they didn't get to overtime in either game.
Yeah.
But if you watched both, like the three of us did, they should have lost 15-3 over the weekend.
Dude, I don't
that
know
might
who
be
caught-
liberal. That might actually being, I might be being nice to them. Like, they got destroyed in both games.
I got it.
That game
honest,
last
guys.
night. Who's Matt Cause's producer? Pardon my ignorance. I don't know.
Owen, our boy.
Owen.
Yeah,
6'10".
Yeah. Owen said, sorry, the score was 5-4. That's a damn lie. He literally said that was a damn lie last
And he's
night.
right. It's a great
he's
take.
right.
He's right.
It was a great comment because I heard it just before we started. And you just mentioned everybody being down there. And I wasn't the greatest player in the world, but, man, when you're on the bench and you see all the Hall of Famers come out and the guys getting inducted, the guys and girls, it's just like you're like, I want to have a good game because you just said it, Hayes. Everybody's watching. It's like the hockey world feels like it's in this building right now, from TSN to Hall of Famers to just everybody.
Yeah.
And it was like, Dregs doesn't say a lot about, like, structural play or team play, and he just is like, I can't believe, like, look at all the breakaways. Couldn't believe the breakaways. How many was there last night? Four or five breakaways?
4 in the second period. Am I wrong on that? Because
No, I think that's
I
an
was
accurate
calling a
statement.
game.
What we were watching.
I'm not lying. I was calling a game, and I have it on my phone right beside me. And I'm just, you check in or whatever. I swear to God, every time I looked down, there was a breakaway. I kept thinking that was a replay. And then I would go back, and I was like, That's not a replay. And then, you're watching. I went back and watched that. They gave up. I sent it to O last night. I should have sent it to you, Brian. They gave up 28 high-danger chances yesterday. 28-12. Like, that was – and, Greg Berube's not wrong where he's saying, I want guys to check somebody. Like, that's where it starts is checking. There was giveaway after giveaway. Like that the game-winning goal, that McCabe has it on his stick.
Crazy.
Literally, on his stick.
That's what's more staggering to me is, like, you look at the defense, and that's what's under the spotlight right now, deservedly so. I mean, their offense, they're scoring goals. Like, they're scoring goals.
More
their
than
power play
enough
was
to
good.
win.
Yeah, he scored 4.
More than enough. And I thought their power play was humming last night. And for the most part over the weekend, like, Willie scores every night. Austin's up to 8 or 9. They're getting some depth scoring. Like, scoring is not an issue. Goaltending is not what it needs to be. Not last night. But Stolarz hasn't been great. Like, he got pulled again ever since, he called out his team. He struggled this year. Yeah. And Wall hasn't played yet. So, they're at a crossroads with the goaltending. Could it get better? Yes. Could it stay the same or get worse? Yes, that's possible too. I don't know what to expect when Joseph Wall returns. I'm not convinced he just steps in.
Well, it better be good, Brian, because it's Stolarz' chew toy. He can't go without it, right?
Well, I understand that. They need each other, clearly. Correct. And, again, I thought Hildeby was fine. They were lucky he played as well as he did.
He had some good saves, and he got a few bounces. Like, they hit how many posts on the breakaway? Two posts and one crossbar. Like, he did – I thought he was okay. Like, he wasn't.
But he's not the story. It doesn't even matter how he played.
No, exactly.
The issue is the defense. It's very clear. And yes, the forwards have to help because the back pressure isn't there. Their neutral zone's a joke. They get hit with stretch passes as if they've never seen one before. Like, that's what's kind of wild. The stretch pass, every team in the league is saying, just make these guys skate a little bit, and they will not be able to keep up. And their plays with the puck is staggering.
Puck play, we'll call it.
Puck play, the defense in particular, like the McCabe turnover is so inexcusable.
World.
It's bizarro world. There was 2 plays last night in the third, which was crazy because it was a 1-goal game. They got outshot 22-2. Brandon Carlo at one point, I wish I isolated this and sent it to Joe. He had a 10-foot pass, the most routine pass in the National Hockey League. 10 feet. He's right-handed. Nyes was coming over the blue line left-handed. That's a right-handed shot to a left-handed forward. It says routine
pass.
He hit him in the skate. I couldn't believe it. I was watching. I had to pause it and go back. I go, how did he do that? No one was around him. He hit him in the skate, a 10-foot pass. Later in that period, Philippe Myers did one of the look out whack-a-mole shots up the boards that was crazy. I'm sure you know which one I'm referencing. And I could go on and on and on. I'm not only isolating those 2 guys. They're all terrible with the puck right now. And it's just breakdown after breakdown after breakdown. And Tree Living committed to big and veteran. But instead, it looks slow and old. Like there's a difference. Like, I get why he committed to these guys. I get it, because you need size in the National Hockey League to win in the playoffs. You need it. You got to have some size. But they're not tough, they're not physical, and they play slow and they play sloppy.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. Like, this weekend was staggering how awful it was.
Really was.
Like,
staggering.
really, really bad stuff.
But the question you have to ask yourself, Brian, is these were it is the same group.
The same 6 guys came back. The exact same 6.
That you watched in the playoffs, and you're like, man, that decor, because in years past it was the skilled defensemen, the TJ Brodies, and whoever else they had back there that was not very good. For the most part, it was skill, and they get crushed in the playoffs.
Liljegren's a good example of that.
Liljegren
make a pass, but he get hammered or
Matt Hollowell, whatever it was.
Right.
But last year, you're like, that decor, that's an NHL playoff defense core. And they held their own, and I thought they had a hell of a series against the Florida Panthers. I really did, for the most part.
And contribute against
we never
Ottawa,
had the conversations of we don't have. There's not one D we can trust out there to make a pass. And then all of a sudden this year, It's all blowing up in smoke, and I can't figure out why and what the hell has happened to it.
Well,
Chris Tanev, and you can't say they got to get Tanev back, because when he was back, and I don't know if you two agree with me, he was not at his best. I don't think he was playing particularly well when he was in the lineup this year.
No, but you're 100% right, O. I'm not going to argue with that. I think the group has more. They hadn't forgotten how to play hockey. They're
Then
not
what are
playing
they doing,
well.
Jamie?
But I'm just saying, as a defensive group, they're not playing well. They can play better. Oliver Ekman-Larsson is a really good player who has good vision. He hasn't been to the top of his game. Morgan Riley started the first 4 or 5 games, started on fire. Morgan Riley, when he's in shape and looking good and skating, he's a good defenseman. I think individually, these guys you can pull them aside and say, McCabe, you can play better. Carlos got better. Brian, I don't think he handles the puck well, but I think he's supposed to be a guy who stops the cycle, who's blocks shots, who's heavy, and just make a 10-foot pass. That's every NHL defenseman should be able to do that. I think they're not playing to their capability, but the question comes back to what is their capability? Even when they're at their best, is that good enough for what they believe the group is to get to the next level? That's where I think you're going. Go ahead. I'm just kind of laying it out there for
I have another
debate.
question. Well,
Okay.
if they've got better, the question would have been posed to them after the second game of the year. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
like
I
if
agree.
somebody would have gone to them and said, what is going on here? Because the discussion since the last training camp game was the defense and everybody is getting back there at a slow rate of speed, and it's causing problems for everybody because they're spending so much time on their end. We've had this discussion since that last kind of home game where it was a full squad, and we're like, man, getting back there to get the puck looks like it's a challenge. And that theme has been carried out ever since then. So when did they first have that conversation with a coach or the defense coach where somebody brought it to their attention where it was like, you basically all of them, you individually have to bring better? That conversation probably happened a long time ago, and it hasn't happened. It's actually getting worse.
Well,
so what the hell are you going to do?
Well, and that's the thing. Like, everyone in the league, 5-10 games in, are going to say there's room for improvement.
Of
right?
course.
Everyone's going to say that. The best team in the league, the worst team in the league. The reality of sports and life is only the actually good teams do improve. Bad teams don't improve. They're bad teams, right?
Yeah,
like
you're right.
you can't just magically say, well, we're going to improve. The best teams in sport, whether it's hockey, football, basketball, baseball, they improve over the course of the season. That's the crossroads the Leafs are at right now. I agree with you, Noodles, that I don't think collectively they all took some poison pill and forgot how to play.
Yeah,
you know, like I can
well.
accept 1 or 2 guys.
Yeah.
And yes, it all permeates because in a way, especially with defense pairings, you're anchored to who you're playing with. You know, and if that guy's in a dark place, you're probably going to get sucked into a dark place to an extent. But as of now, you know, the 6 that are playing, Tanev's not a part of this. Like, none of them have any confidence. It's like that McCabe play. That's a confidence play. That's a buckle job. Like, I don't know if he thought he was under pressure. I don't know if he was going to commit to a play and then try to stop it.
Insanity in a tie game to even attempt that.
Well, Lorentz did it the night before, and then he got healthy scratched. And that's the question here with Berube is what are you going to do? Like, because afterwards he looks perplexed. Like, he's got a Randy Carlyle vibe right now where he's, you know, they can run and gun and they can score, but they give up a million shots, a million chances.
Yeah.
And he just, after the game, he said, well, we'll just keep working on it.
Yeah.
What are you working on? You know, and how do you get it there? And Lorentz is an easy guy to say you're coming out. Now,
Right.
why he was on the ice with 3 minutes to go is beyond me. If he can be healthy scratch the next night, I have no idea why he was even on the ice. But he was. Fine, you take Lorentz out. What are they going to do with the defense?
Yeah.
Like, is
Well,
someone
I
going
don't
to
know,
lose
but the coach can
ice time
scream and
or-
yell about, you know, checking and committing to being on the right side of the puck and getting above the puck. I don't care who you are. Like Guy Carbonneau in his prime, you can't do anything with that play right there if you're throwing pizzas like that. You can't.
No question.
Yeah.
There's
and
no
that was
checking.
the case all night, man.
Yeah, and maybe the
Yeah.
coach has just got to come up with something to say because it looks so bad. But there's no on top of the puck or checking you can do. You know, somebody could maybe bust their ass to get back, but that is a pizza when you've got your D partner or anything is available other than that play.
Yeah.
And Lorentz the same thing with the Minton goal. Like, you can't make that play. You can't. I don't know what he was trying to do. I guess go cross ice, or if it was a touch pass.
That's the thing. If you break down the goals and see a bunch of the decision making, like it's just dumb plays. Where it's like backhand sauce to there. It's like a silly little play here, and it's like you just can't. I don't know.
Like it's just a crazy, and that's where I guess the glass half full, which I was a lot last week, glass half full guy, and I will apply it here because this is not the end of the season. It's November 10th, and they got a lot of games left. Is if you're Berube and company, you should be able to look at these plays and say, guys, like obviously you're all veterans in the league. You know you can't do that. Right. And I think they got to get the neutral zone figured out. Like Noodles, you can maybe speak to it better than I can, but that you can't. It cannot be a Mario Kart fast track lane through the neutral zone.
No,
like especially when you're a veteran big team that's not that fast. You better clog up the neutral zone.
That's where the checking does come into play.
Yes,
one of the Stankoven goals last night, he was on the wall. And I'm going to detail it on the pregame show tomorrow. William Nylander approaches him on the wall and just, breathes on the guy and blows past him or doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the ice, you see Stankoven get the puck and shoot it in the net, and guess who skates by him?
Yeah.
William Nylander.
It is. So Brian, you're right. Like we've focused on the D, and the D have struggled to move the puck up. Speed. They're under pressure a lot, and they're getting hit. Their faces are in the glass. The neutral zone, a lot of that is forwards. You need back pressure and able to hold your gap and to hold the line. And if you have guys that are half-assing coming back, not details on pucks, not heavy with the sticks, sticks in the air, we're going to have the same conversation with Edmonton. But it's just the same thing.
Yep.
Like you're looking at the details of the game are not very sharp. So you can see the coach, I'm talking Berube, but I'll throw in Knob. Like you can see the coach going, these are details that the NHL players should have these details. You shouldn't have to reinforce them when you're a 5-10-year vet coming back with your stick on the ice through the middle, checking through the hands, helping out, moving your feet instead of standing and watching. There's too many times I've seen it. I went back and watched the Leaf game. You're right. The neutral zone, they're coming a million miles an hour at these D because there's nobody in their lane. There's nobody disrupting. They're getting speed. They're able to build speed out of their own zone through the neutral zone, and now they're hitting this D at full speed, and they're having to turn and try and swipe at stuff. So, yes, the D have to be better, but I also believe the forwards are culpable too.
Yes.
A lot of times, and the best coaches always say, defense can start in the offensive zone. Like that's the thing too. If you're forechecking, a great forecheck leads to chances. This is just laziness coming back through the middle of the ice. Like these, you're not moving. You're just standing there watching. And I could break all of these plays down and go, hey, this guy missed assignment. But there has to be some consistency. And we're seeing it now. And I know I'm ranting a little bit, but the parity in the league. The consistency, the one thing I've noticed here in the first, 5 weeks, fast teams are having success. Young, skilled, fast teams are having success because they're going. Like they're just to hell with it. We're moving our feet. We're going, and we're taking it to the net. So that's why you're seeing these young teams, even Chicago scoring goals and late plays because I watched Utah yesterday. Now, Ottawa beat them, but Utah has some really good, young, fast players. And their mindset is go. Like, get your feet moving. We'll make apologies for mistakes afterwards. And you can see the older teams or the more structured teams trying to settle that structure in. It's not working right now. They're not working fast enough.
I always said one of my golden rule is, what did we just do? We just went through some video stuff, breakdowns, missed assignments. And one of my golden rules is there's a guy out there that can cover all that up all the time and sweep it under the rug if he's dialed in, right? And they're not doing it. The goaltending.
Well, now that was more of a problem Saturday for me. The Stolars, I thought all 4 of those goals he should have stopped. And a couple of them were terrible.
Bouncing around.
Yeah, like the Pasternak goal was horrendous. I didn't like the geeky goal. It looked like a misdirection or kind of threw him off the way it was kind of came off his stick. But, Stolars has got to, I think it was Domi scores, place is going nuts, you get the lead, and the next 2 shots are behind you. It can't happen. Like that obviously can't happen. Last night was different, though. Like Carolina, to put a bow on this, the Leafs are down 5-4 with 2 minutes to go. They're trying to get control of the puck so they can pull their goalie. They couldn't even get the puck. Like that was like tough to watch, where Carolina's just cycling around as if they had pulled their goalie and had 6
looking
forwards
for possession.
on. Looking for possession. And that's credit to Brind'Amour, because he's like, don't even let them off the hook. Don't go into prevent defense. Don't step back. Don't play conservatively. Just keep going. Mm-hmm. Where are these guys down? They're not going to be able to get the puck back. And that's the issue. And, you got a team here that there's a lot of security on this team. There's a lot of guys who they got their deals, and they got, maybe some of them are getting cookies or points or whatever. And that's what it looks like. Like, it looks like there's an effort issue here. And that's what Berube said last night. Like, they're very rarely, if ever, the hardest working team consistently throughout a game. That's a real indictment. And like, you're not going to battle. You're not going to win. It's not going to happen against good teams in the league.
And the scary part too is is there anybody out of the line? Like, there's no. Like,
Tanev, that's it.
Tanev's a big blow, and I think Wolf's
a guy too. Yes.
Will help, but like, there's no guys waiting in the wings that going, okay, that we're missing this player who's a top 6 or who's a top 4 defenseman, or this is the group, and they got to get their act together, and that's really what it is. And it's a long season. They play a lot of hockey, but they didn't have a great weekend. And what do you follow it up with? I think that's the biggest thing. They've got a busy week here.
Yep.
The problem that I've had, Brian, I've been harping on it for the first 5 weeks, is their schedule's been soft.
Yeah.
Carolina
home,
was the first real contending team.
No kidding, Jamie. What are they going to do when things toughen up here and they get traveling?
But they've got to play better. That's the thing. I want to see them play better, and then we can judge as to. But Carolina was a big test. They played the night before too. Yes,
that's the thing. Last night, Carolina, there were no excuses. The Leafs were at home. Carolina just played. Carolina, like Slavin wasn't playing. They're dealing with injuries.
Yep.
Yeah. Carolina's banged up. They had Bussy in net. They had the Bussy.
The Bussy, Brandon Bussy. Yeah. He's their number 3.
No, exactly. They had their third-string goalie.
But so did the Leafs. The Leafs had their third string too.
I hear you. But the home team, again, that's speaking to how lucky they are that they scored 4 goals.
Fair.
Because, I think if that's a goalie that's maybe dialed in, it's not the case. But, again, offense has not been an issue. Guys are healthy for the most part. It was a real eye-opening weekend, because Carolina in particular, being outshot 22-2 on home ice in a third period of a 1-goal game is wild. Like, that's a throwback, man. That's something we haven't seen in a long time. So they got to end it. They got to stop it. They got to figure this out, and they're capable of more. But U.S. Thanksgiving's like a week and a half away, guys.
Dude, you don't need to get to Thanksgiving weekend. I'm sorry.
No, I know, but that's always the line. Like, you are who you are.
Really, I always get to like 10 days before that, and I'm like, you really want to.
Well, if this is who they are, then they're fighting for a playoff spot at best.
I just think
that's who they are. If this is who they are, then they might miss the playoffs.
Here's the question for you: can they do anything for you two in the next 10 days before U.S. Thanksgiving to change your mind dramatically, where you completely change your view on the team? Is it possible?
There's a couple things, but it's more.
It's a yes or no.
Okay, I'll say yes, but it's with an asterisk, because like I told you, I don't see. There's nobody coming out of the stands going, hey, we don't have Zach Hyman coming back. We don't have a big, we don't have a top 6, a top 4 defenseman. I guess Tanev would be, but that's the only thing. But I would say yes. Because there's structure there. They have to play a
yes
better
or no.
structure.
Dramatically, no. The answer is no. Dramatically, no. What I will say is Joseph Wall, if he comes back and plays well, that can be something.
Stabilize the goaltending.
Yes. Like, if Wall looks like he's capable of giving them, good to very good goaltending, that's huge, clearly. But I think what has come out of the first 15 games or so is there's all this focus on they got to find a right winger. That's not what they got to find. They got to figure out what they're going to do as a team, systematically, and possibly on defense. Like, you don't have many assets, but what's a right winger going to do last night? Nothing. What's he going to do against Boston?
Man.
Nothing.
Not much.
Yeah, nothing. It's there's an area of contention and an area that has to be a priority, and it's very clear to me. And that will not. I don't see that changing over the next week and a half, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
All right, Luke coming up. Davis Schneider coming up. You've got another tease for us, right? You got something else that you want to throw out there that you will do?
Do you want me to do it after the break?
Yes. Let's get to that, and we'll get to something to chew on. OverDrive continues. TSN 1050 and on TSN 4.
Now, back to OverDrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
OverDrive continues, powered by FanDuel, bringing you everything from the opening line to the final score. Luke Wilson in about half an hour. Davis Schneider
Dude,
in about an
did it
hour. I said that
again.
twice, I think.
Yeah.
I think I said it twice.
You
Davis
said it
is
to
the
him
man.
one time.
You see Davis everywhere, man. You can't miss him. Like he's CFL, he's NFL, he's everywhere. We love Davis, but you're right. I think I did that when we interviewed Davis Schneider.
You did.
Like 4 or 5 months ago.
Yeah, I think you did it when you brought him in. You were like, here he is, Davis Sanchez. And then you're like, Davis Schneider. It was awful.
Well, it's not Jake Delhomme. You're fine with that. Right?
I know. It's just
Jake Plummer.
It's one of those things. You get Davis out, you lean into what you're familiar with, right?
Exactly. That's
Our
all
guys, again, you can't turn on TSN without seeing Davis.
That's true.
But Schneider will join us in about an hour. All right. What did you hear down at Scotiabank Arena?
There was a high-ranking official from TSN who occasionally gets involved with forming quiz questions, and one was talking about MacKinnon overtaking in the past year Connor McDavid as the game's best player. And
Why would Steve Dryden say that? He loves McKinnon. I know it's Dryden. It's 100% Dryden.
Noodles, it was
it's the
not.
Quizmaster.
First of all, that's not the Quizmaster, and that's not the person. But he was bandying about the idea, trying to formulate a question about that topic. Has he caught up? Has he surpassed? Is it just a bit of a downtime for McDavid? But there was some chatter amongst all the people there, hockey people, that MacKinnon, with another 5 points last night, maybe he's overtaken as the game's best player at the moment.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, he was number 2 on the list. Right?
Yeah,
We're not talking
like
about a guy
14th on the list.
exactly that's come out of nowhere and challenging McDavid. So I think it's a reasonable debate in terms of the way they're playing right now. Yes. I mean, McKinnon's been better than McDavid this year. That doesn't
better start. Absolutely.
The issue with it is, it's a sample size thing. It's if we're talking about who's going to be better over the next 80 games that they play, then I would still go with McDavid. I think McDavid has proven that throughout his career. Not that MacKinnon is anything but spectacular, but I mean MacKinnon. That was a statement on Saturday night. Like that was quite something, man. I was watching that game. Landeskog got robbed, too. It should have been 10-1.
It should have. It actually should have been even worse, but it just.
They were all over Edmonton.
I said to first of all, you can't allow those Makar goals. Those are wrist shots from, clear-sighted shots.
There was some 80s-type goaltending
there
being
was,
played.
In the one thing, Edmonton was out to lunch every player. Awful, awful, awful. And Colorado deserved all of the accolades that they came to play because they thought that was a heavyweight match, and Edmonton stood around and watched them just blow by them. Poor decision after poor decision after. But Colorado deserves a lot of credit. They were unbelievable. Edmonton stunk. And there was a question, I was going to bring it up to you. Chris Knobloch had a long pause in his meeting.
We have
afterwards.
it. We got to play it.
See that one?
Let's play it because this is a wild clip. All right, this is on the goaltending in general, but I think Stuart Skinner is probably at the forefront.
Yes.
Here is Chris Knobloch post game Saturday night.
The first 2 goals of the game are 2 wrist shots, no traffic, both get through your goalie, one off the post, a good shot, one through your goalie, and you said your team sags after that. Is this team losing some belief here when it comes to the goaltending situation?
I don't believe so. I think there's been games where our goaltending has been good. The chances and the amount of chances that we've given up has not helped. So I see a lot of bigger issues than our goaltending.
You know what that looked like, guys? Is when a guy comes home from the bar and the wife asks him, "Are you drunk?" And he goes,
I don't believe so.
"You know what I mean? He's had like 12," and she goes, "Are you drunk?"
I don't believe so.
And he like the pause too. He's like, "Ooh."
Yeah. That was the first time. You're right. Like, it is the question from the wife going, like, did you leave that out last night? Did you whatever you've done wrong?
Right.
Yeah.
That
he
pause.
said he was only going out for a couple, and he comes home and he's had 12 and 4 shots of Zambuca. And she says, "You're a pile driver right now, aren't you?" And he goes,
I don't believe so.
In actuality, he is creamed.
He's
hammered.
But the
Blackout.
thing is, he's semi-blackout, but he's got it together enough where he can answer.
For that
and
line.
He has a delay, yeah.
For that
and
line.
He just,
That was.
I don't believe so.
That is the greatest analogy ever.
Yes.
But it's true. Like, that was the first time.
He
because
knows he's
usually,
creamed.
Yep.
Well, the first time you go.
And he
all right,
knows they can't stand the goaltending.
well,
Like, let's be clear
They haven't
here.
been good enough. They haven't been good enough.
No, I
period.
know.
The
but
reason he's creamed is because he drank because of the goaltending.
Yes. And
Right.
like the goaltending, it's such a weird scenario out there because those two guys have been there for 2 cup runs.
No
Like
kidding.
it's the same 2 guys that
Yeah.
are in the Stanley Cup final every
Right.
single year. Yet their stats are generally pretty awful. Like it's
near the bottom.
It's crazy,
They're
man.
near the bottom, and that's the thing that I think it's funny. We had the Leaf chat last, in 4:30, and it applies here in Edmonton. The only difference is there are some players coming back, but I still want to see a finished product because I just don't think. I think Edmonton at some point will make a move. Like I do believe in that. Whether that's, I don't know what that looks like. But it sounds like as we're starting to reach the American Thanksgiving, it was reported by the insiders that, Doug Armstrong said open for business here. Like, some of these teams are going to be open for business here very, very soon. And it's the same thing with the Leafs. The Leafs don't have a lot to
That's
give
what scares me.
for these
How,
teams.
like making desperate moves though, Noodles? Like
But
that.
is it desperate? I don't think it's desperate. It's more like you identify what you need. That's really what
Brian
it is.
just said about the Toronto Maple Leafs, what's a right winger going to do for them? What's Zach Hyman going to do about those wrist shots going in?
Well, no, you're
What's
right.
Janmark going to do about those wrist shots
Nothing.
going in?
100%. But what Brian's saying is desperate. But at the end of the day, it's something you identify. You've given a long enough run. Like, it's not like you haven't gone, okay,
Yes.
like we're making a knee-jerk reaction here after 6 weeks. This has been, a while here, and I think at some point something has to give. That's the way I look.
I guess what I'm saying is you have to have belief that it's going to work and that this is just a rut that they need a shock to the system. Where with Edmonton, I think it's reasonable to suggest that as bad as they've played, they have, again, this is the 3rd or 4th year in a row. They've just had a terrible start. They haven't played well. They've picked up a lot of wins at home, but like that loss on Saturday is probably the worst loss any team has faced all year. Like that's a Saturday night. MacKinnon rolls in, Avalanche, they get pumped. But they've been to back-to-back Cup finals. You have faith in their big boys showing up when they have to show up. So that is probably a move out of necessity. With the Leafs, if you go out and flip a couple D and bring in a couple of new defensemen, which I don't even think is possible anymore in the modern NHL, I don't know if it is. What is that going to do, though? Are you doing that to make sure you can get to the playoffs? Or are you doing that because you think that launches you into, I have a belief you can win a Stanley Cup? That's very different.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying, Noodles. Like, desperation, it can be disguised as a move out of necessity when really you're delaying the inevitable. Like
Right.
if the Leafs, if you just don't think you're good enough, and this is on Tree Living to figure out, and
Right.
Berube and I guess Keith Pelley in ownership, like are you a tweak away from launching something new? Maybe they are. Maybe everything comes together and they lock in, and all of a sudden their goaltending steps up, and boom, they're back where they were even a year ago.
Right.
But what if you're just patching up something where a year or two from now you look back and say, man,
Well, and
we
you're-
just what did we do that for?
and you're 2 years older, like you have
Yes, and
buyer's
you're giving up more
remorse.
assets. Like
Like
that trade
that's-
deadline last year is looking more and more like a disaster for the Leafs. Like, let's call it what it is. Like Lawton and Carlo for two first. Like Fraser Minten right now is probably a more impactful player than Scott Lawton. Like, probably
Nice.
is.
I watched him on Thursday live.
Yes.
He was very, very good.
And they
Very,
gave up him and a first for Carlo. That's a
Yeah.
crazy trade in retrospect. Not that Carlo isn't a good player, big defenseman, cost control. You gave up both of those? Like Minton steps right in and he's a player and a first for Carlo? Like not an impact guy, just a good fourth or fifth defenseman?
And when that happens, you expect him to be a real good fourth
He's
or
got to
fifth
be a
defense.
really good player. You gave
Yeah.
up your first or second top prospect in a first. It better be a guy that's really, really good. You know, and it hasn't looked that way. And that's what I'm saying, Noodles. If they go back in, they're like, all right, Cowan and another first for these guys, and you're like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, what is that going to do for you?
I think you have the luxury. Luxury is the wrong word because the Atlantic is jammed up from top to bottom. But you have some time here to. I always try to remove myself the emotion from it, and I think managers have to do that. Media and fans don't have to do it, but managers have to do that and say, don't have a knee-jerk reaction here. To your point, Brian, like go, I got to do something right now to fix this team. Because the team, if you went down the roster, how many of those guys are playing to their potential? I would say Willie has been quite consistent.
Yeah, he's put up great
but,
numbers.
But
he's been Willie.
He's been Willie, exactly. Which he's never going to be a defensive dynamo.
No.
But he's
going to score a million
Willie.
goals
he's
and points.
He's going to score and do his thing. I think Nyes is at a nice start.
Tavares has been very
Tavares
good.
has been very consistent. Austin has been up and down, but Austin is starting to show signs of getting back to what Austin does. Everybody else, any one of those guys, am I missing somebody? That is playing to their. Is Max Domi scratched the surface?
No,
Has
I think Nick
Bobby
Robertson's
McMahon-
been better
Nick
than
Robertson has
expected.
been
Nick
okay.
Waugh's been
Nick
okay.
Robertson is like he's gotten an opportunity and he gets points, but man, like a lot of times when there's some breakdowns and you see him doing some goofy stuff, like
Yeah, so
some really goofy.
He'll
You're
make a
talking
play
about
at the
William
blue line
Nylander
that-
and John Tavares and Austin Matthews contributing offensively, and then there's a bunch of guys like Jamie. We talked about it the other night when we were having our late night pillow talk. The world is coming to an end about the Canadian teams. Like there's the guys making plays, and then there's just all the other guys just really not getting it done.
The bunch of players out there pushing the puck around, and that's you're noticing that. So what I would like to do is remove myself and go: is there more there? Is Dakota Joshua have more? Can Domi get going? Can McMahon get some consistent? Like if that's the case, then you stabilize and then play better defensively, and the goaltending gets going. Then you see if you've got a semblance of a group here. A couple good wins, couple poor losses. Trying to figure out what this group is. That's really what.
And I think that's
right
reasonable, and that should be the case. What I will say is that it's not exclusive to Brad Tree Living. It applies to every manager. When it's your players, it's tough to be objective, right?
Fair
When
enough.
you're the one that brought that guy in, you see him a little bit differently.
Sure.
Right? Like he didn't draft Minton. I'm not saying he was flippant with getting rid of him or just, hey, forget him because he's not my guy. But, Carlos is guy. Lawton's his guy.
A lot of the cost of doing business, unfortunately, right?
Well, okay. Yeah.
That sucked, right? Like you would look back on it, but you're right, Brian. It's not those guys.
That's the job, though, to determine, the right moves and wrong. I'm not saying the Carlo deal is a complete disaster right now. It doesn't have to be. I thought he was good last year and stabilized and all that. I'm just saying, my point is, I'm not disagreeing with you have to, you got to assess it, but every GM's a little bit biased with their own people, right? And wants to believe in the guys that they brought in. So, that challenges things as well. Luke Wilson coming up, Davis Schneider joining us as well. OverDrive continues, TSN 1050 and on the TSN app. Coming up, and we'll get you something to chew on, brought to you by Boston Pizza. Speaking of which, we're going to be out in Winnipeg in a few days. Grey Cup is set. Man, there's going to be a lot of people from Saskatchewan in town.
Yes.
Lots of Rough Rider fans taking over Winnipeg.
They're
what a
the real
finish
fans,
that was.
Rough Rider fans, man, and Alouette fans.
Yes, and Alouettes, of course. Montreal will be well represented. I don't dispute that. But, the Prairie folk, man, that drive from, Regina to Winnipeg, that's nothing for them.
Yeah.
Nothing.
What is it, 7 hours? They'll be fine.
They'll be cruising into town.
That's
Happy to
a
take
going
it
to
over.
work commute.
Yeah, it's a work commute. Exactly.
Exactly.
So they'll be there supporting the crews, and we'll be out there. And, of course, CFL on TSN will be out there. And we got the Hall of Fame tonight, the inductions. Duthie will be doing his thing. This is his night to shine, man. He will be crushing it down there like he always does.
By the way, just a little note on that. It's about time that James Duthie goes in the Hall of Fame. Just saying.
I would agree with that.
Yeah,
Get
the
Duthie
guy's
in the Hall of
60 years
Fame.
old. He's 60 years old.
Doesn't have any gray hair either. It's
He
perfect.
looks phenomenal.
He's been doing it long enough. The guy that puts everyone in the Hall of Fame, he deserves to go in the Hall of Fame.
Get Duthie in the Hall of
Fair
Fame.
enough.
Yeah.
All right, hour 2 coming up. OverDrive continues. TSN 1050 and on TSN 4.
This is OverDrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog on TSN 1050.
Hour 2 OverDrive continues. Brian Hayes, the O-Dog, Jeff O'Neill, Jamie Noodles, McKinnon, Davis Schneider a little bit later this hour. The baseball offseason officially underway. Already a ton of rumors out there of where players are going to go, what teams are going to be active. And we'll catch up with Davis a little bit later on. Look back on what was an incredible run, if he's allowed himself to relive Game 7, how he handles the offseason. A lot of things to get into with him.
That would be tough. I got a scathing text for you about the Bills and their coach.
Okay.
Oh,
From
yeah?
a high-ranking official at TSN.
Mm-hmm.
He said, tell Hayes he's a joke and don't question my knowledge of the Buffalo Bills. Other than beating the Chiefs and blowing out the Jets and Panthers, who are both terrible, the Bills are a Derrick Henry late fumble, a Tua late interception, and one more play from the Saints from being 3-6. McDermott no longer has any game feel or management.
All right.
And it goes on and on. So, chew on that
I'm
one.
going to figure out who that guy is. Who is it? Send me a text. I'll
It's
deal
Joe
with
from
that
the bridge.
person. It could be Joe from the bridge.
Yeah, it's Joe from
Here's
the bridge.
what I said, because you
Bill
asked.
Dodson.
Or is it Billy? Okay. Well, here's the problem. Here's the problem, Bill. The way it was presented to me was, do you think McDermott will be fired or should be fired? He's not going to be fired. That's how I answered it. He's
Dude,
not. They're
why
not
not
firing
though?
him.
Why not? Send a message to send a vibe throughout the organization.
Who are you going to hire? Is the
Just
first
listen
thing.
to
Brian
me.
Dable? You can bring Dable in there?
I don't
This
know.
medical
You give-
tent?
Maybe you get Billy
him up?
Cowher out of his chair.
Bill Cowher hasn't coached in 20 years almost.
Dude, I don't care who they bring in, but what you're doing right now is you're sending the message that what they've been doing throughout the last bunch of years is okay. And they're not changing. Just status quo.
All right.
Status quo.
Then let me throw this out at you, because keep
Go
that
ahead.
same energy. Keep that
Dude,
same energy.
Do yourself a favor. You got the guy's number. Text him back. Don't take it out
I don't
on
need to
me.
deal with Bill.
He
It's not
called
like
you
it's
a
not like
stooge.
Brandon
arguing
Beans
with
texted
He
Bill
me.
on
called you
air
a
right now.
stooge.
Why do I have to deal with Bill? Billy,
I don't know.
I'll talk to him. I'll deal with Bill.
Go
but
ahead.
Bill doesn't work for the Bills. Like, it's not like he's taking it personal, something I'm saying, that, he's got actual skin in the game. The Bills, they haven't played well. They're still in a playoff spot. Guess what? This time last year, they weren't going so good. And
Right.
McDermott, steadily as the year went on, got better and better and better, and they made the playoffs.
Okay.
Something to chew on, brought to you by Boston Pizza, Canada's favorite sports bar. Enjoy $15 lunch at BP, where you get an entree, a side, and a drink, and you'll get it all in 20 minutes or less. A fast lunch doesn't have to be fast food. See you for a $15 fast lunch at your local Boston Pizza. Who had a worse weekend? The Bills, the Oilers, or the Maple Leafs?
I'm going to say the Leafs, man. Ask my Partsy, though. Ask my Partsy
But
the question
here's
and
where-
then about
before you answer, Noodles, because I have an answer, if that knowledge or logic is going to apply to McDermott and the Bills, why wouldn't it apply to the Leafs and to the Oilers? Why are their coaches safe? Like, why would McDermott have to go to change it up?
Guess how long he's been there, bud?
A long time. But guess what?
Right.
They win playoff games. They go to the playoffs.
Knobloch's been there for 2 years. Craig Berube's been there for a year and a bit.
Right.
Well,
This guy's
Knobloch's
been there a long
Knobloch's been to the finals 2 years in a row.
As I said,
Berube
to take it up with the high-ranking official, not me. That's what he said.
My answer is actually the Bills. Like Miami is a disaster.
A joke.
A joke in the league right now. And not only did the Bills get embarrassed, New England beat up on Tampa. And that top seed in the AFC East is like rapidly leaving Western New York.
Yes.
Like rapidly leaving.
Fair enough.
So I would say the Bills had the worst weekend.
You could argue
Ask
all
my
three.
Partsy.
Yeah,
All three
bring in Partsy. All three had terrible weekends, but for different reasons. The Oilers were embarrassed. The Leafs lost 2 in regulation in their own building, and the Bills. I guess it's an embarrassing loss too because of who they lost to.
They got trolled by Mike McDaniel at the elbow room.
Yeah,
it's
which I kind
not
of respect that. And you hear his media today where he was like, AI does some weird things. He blamed it on AI.
Yes, well, as you should. Everyone's going to do that now.
Yeah.
Chris Knobloch should do that. It was AI. All right, bring in Luke Wilson.
What the Win Wilson is cooking.
This guy just looks so dejected, man.
No, he doesn't. That's a
just
pro
looks
athlete
so
right
dejected.
there, and we are about to start a run.
We are about to start
a run to what?
Dude, I don't know.
A run to what?
But we've had enough. We've had enough.
We hit rock bottom.
We
hit
had a
rock
players
bottom.
only. We had a players only.
You know what happened? And we needed I kept saying slump buster, and I thought Pudge would do it, and thank God we didn't go with Pudge in the second game. But the slump buster was the Berlin game because that was the right pick all day. Yeah. We missed 2 4th downs in the red zone, an extra point, a field goal, win by 6, and the line 6.5 because we don't kick the extra point in overtime. So the coin flip jammed us too. When all those things added up, I said to myself, look out. We might go on a generational run. And guess what? Generational run started on the Rams pick of the weekend.
We did the slump buster last night. We met at a Boston Pizza out in Ajax, and we just took it deep all night long.
Yeah, okay.
That's
well, you need it, man, because Al's brother and I, we're penthouse 4 seasons.
Luke,
that's
I agree.
how we roll right now.
For one night, man. For one night.
Well,
but permanent residency.
What was the analogy? Dude. What was the analogy we used in the last hour? Hayes and Bro were driving in a Ferrari, or
yes,
what was
a souped-up Ferrari or a souped-up McLaren in where is it? Abu Dhabi.
In Abu Dhabi, and
where we
Owen
stole
Wilson
Al's brother's Hyundai Pony, and we're trailing in behind.
Here's the problem, boys. That McLaren is rented. You know what I'm saying? That thing got to go back. That ain't theirs, Noodles.
We're
living way
cash,
outside their means.
Straight cash.
Way outside their means.
We're Randy Mossing that thing.
Yeah,
no, sir. Listen. We
straight
need
cash, homie.
Straight cash, homie. We need a run. I'm not afraid to say it, but I feel pretty good. Now, tonight's game's tough, but I feel pretty good.
And we'll get to this game, and I know you guys are going to fumble tonight. I know you're going to fumble this game tonight. The Bills.
Ask him.
Speaking of fumbling.
Yes, well.
Speaking of fumbling.
Jeff O'Neill is getting text from a high-ranking TSN executive suggesting that Sean McDermott should be fired and that the Bills are actually pretty lucky to be in the position they're in. They should be well under 500. Where do you stand on that assessment?
I mean, well under 500, I wouldn't say so. They did get a couple greasy wins in the middle of the season there.
Yeah.
And you look at, week 1, I thought they were fortunate to get over Baltimore.
There you go.
But that being said, I would actually go front office before McDermott. And I'm not a huge McDermott guy. But I can't get over the fact that they didn't trade for anybody at the deadline. And the reason I'm saying that, and I think you guys would agree, but it's like, listen, I get that you're probably overpaying for Quinnen Williams if that's the guy you wanted, if that's the guy you circled. Waddle yesterday. Overpay. How many more years of them going to the playoffs are we going to do or have, and then on the flip side be like, oh, we were so close? I don't think it's a successful season at this point if they win the AFC Championship and lose in the Super Bowl. This organization needs a Super Bowl win. They have the best player on planet Earth in Josh Allen. We got to win the thing. Overpay. And you want to talk about overpaying? Like, here's where my thought process would be if I'm in the front office, is giving up whatever amount of picks for a Waddle or for a Quinnen Williams on defense worth it? You know, if you're looking at it in that lens, maybe not. But now if I were to say, hey, I gave up this amount of picks and it led to a home playoff game, like, it's not just apples to apples. So I'm pretty shocked, and it's tough because you don't want to overreact, because the week before I thought was the best win they've had against Kansas City in the regular season. The week before they came out, they outplayed them. Their defense outplayed Patrick Mahomes in that offense, which was also healthy. Offensively, they ran the ball over them. Josh Stewart was extremely efficient. I think he threw for 273 against the Chiefs. And you're like, wow, this team looks electric. And all of that just got flushed right down the toilet with this loss. I mean, you're 2 games back, plus the tiebreaker, and the Patriots have the wild card and an easy schedule. So I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I don't know if I would say fire McDermott, but I would definitely – I can't believe they didn't go get somebody.
Yeah. Well, last year they did, and, you know, they went out and got
Amari Cooper.
And they didn't use him properly, I didn't think, anyway, down the stretch. But I agree. Bean is the one taking more heat, I find, in Buffalo. Like, what I'm picking up on from Bills fans and media down there, they're hammering at Bean because of the lack of weapons around Josh Allen. And, you know, he's taken heat for that for a long time. Like, they've been unable to draft and develop wide receivers. You know, their run game's still decent. They've got tight ends that I believe can put up some production. I think what they're looking at here, and this is where I would say, again, they probably deserve the benefit of the doubt here, is they generally have been getting better week after week after week with McDermott throughout his tenure. This time last year, the same thing. They were not very good halfway through the year, and then they became rock stars down the stretch. I believe they did that the year before as well. Specifically, the way they defend, they get better and better and better. My last point here, Luke, is the AFC does not scare anybody. Now, that doesn't justify maybe not going out and getting anybody.
Fair.
But the Colts, the Broncos, the Pats, the Steelers, the Chargers, these teams are all ahead of the Bills. None of them scare the Bills. None of them should scare the Bills.
Yes, they should.
I don't believe so.
The Dolphins just absolutely dummied them.
Of course, but you just said the week before they beat up on Kansas City.
Sure, but the same thing can happen now in the playoffs. And I don't disagree with anything you just said, to be completely honest. But where I get a little annoyed, if I were a Bills fan, is at this stage of McDermott's tenure there. I think he started in 2017. Mm-hmm. At this stage of Josh Allen coming off of league MVP in all of his abilities, the Bills should be the team doing the scaring, and they're not. Like, at what point do you figure it out, whether it's shipping away your future draft picks, who, like you said, you haven't really done great on, okay, and make a team where you're like, oh, God, we got to play Buffalo today. We got to go up against this defense today. That's not the case. Sure, they had a great game defensively against Mahomes, but I'm promising you, nobody is turning on Buffalo's film right now and saying, wow, it's really going to be a tough time playing this defense.
Yeah.
And
what
now
are you
it's
saying,
tough. Parts like with Josh Allen and like being in his prime, it should be all in. Like
all in right now. Yes, that is exactly what I'm saying. If I am in this front office,
he doesn't know though. He, like you said, he rents cars.
High-end cars, luxury cars.
You know, take your chips and push them all in.
Yeah.
If not,
but that
now,
ship
then
has
when?
sailed, though. That's fine, Luke. I hear you, and I'm with you. But that ship has sailed. We're post-deadline, so they have what they have. They got to figure this out now. You know, and Oliver's not coming back.
I don't think Hoyt's not coming back.
Yeah. Like, that's an issue defensively. That's on McDermott to figure out.
And we'll see.
Right.
I haven't seen the news, anything on Kincaid, but it looked like he came up grabbing his hamstring.
Yeah.
So now
I
you
haven't
come
seen
out
anything
here
today on that either. But
and you're down to Knox as your main guy, which I like Dawson Knox, but he's not a receiving
Kincaid,
threat that
they
Kincaid is. And Coleman had one nice play yesterday, but other than that, he's been non-existent.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you went out and you signed Josh Palmer, and they don't even use him a ton.
Yeah, nothing.
So, again, what do you want? Like, what do you want Josh to do? Guys are gloved up. Guys aren't getting open. He doesn't have a stalwart guy. Shakir is the main, person now, but he's more of an underneath slot guy. You don't want to go in with Shakir as your 1A weapon.
Well, they had Diggs, and we saw what happened there, and then they got away from that, and it emboldened them because, they spread the ball around or whatever it was, and last year they had a good year, but I hear you, and they got to figure that out, and you look at the AFC, again, it seems wide open. Now, maybe the Patriots are for real. I don't know. I mean, they've had a very soft schedule.
They still do have a soft schedule coming up.
So can they win a Super Bowl this year? Like, if you're a Patriots fan like who rediscovered his fandom.
Oh, yeah. Fair weather fan out of nowhere.
Did parts. I was there for the Brady years, and I got lost in the shuffle for a bunch of years. I didn't know where to turn. So I went down the wrong path, and I just clued into me this morning. I'm like, I'm a Patriots guy.
Yes.
You got to stick with what
looked at the standings.
Shut up,
too,
Hayes, and shut up, Noodles.
Convenient.
You have to stick with what you know. And I'm a Pats guy, and I was like, go home. Go home to where you belong, man. Yeah. And it just happened.
Are they for real?
Are they for real? Yes, absolutely. In what is, I would say about the Patriots, which is a little bit different than what we've seen in the modern NFL, but they're really what I would call the jack of all trades, master of none, where it's like they can beat you a variety of different ways. You look at yesterday's game. That offense was not really electric, but they were explosive. This wasn't a fluid game for them offensively where, hey, we're, driving the ball down the field. Wasn't a monster game from Drake May, but he gets a 72-yard touchdown pass to Kyle Williams. You look at the running back there, Henderson, gets a 55-yard touchdown, a 69-yard touchdown. I thought, which was really gutsy, the timeout on the 2-yard line, not the timeout, it was a fake knee. I've never actually seen this, that Vrabel pulled off at the end of the half to make sure Baker didn't get the ball at the half, and then going for it on fourth down. You mentioned Stephon Diggs there. And then they scored in the first play coming out of the third quarter. So there was your 14-point swing. So when I say they're the jack of all trades, it's like coaching can win them games. I believe that with Vrabel. If they need to get explosive, they got explosive yesterday, and they got the speed to do it. They also, I think, have the toughness and the grit to play in a 12-9 style of game. So they don't necessarily have, in my opinion, that huge flash, if you will. But I do think, and I haven't talked about their defense, I think that they're just very, very good and fundamentally solid at every single phase of the game and can beat you depending on any given Sunday. So I think they're a legitimate squad.
Parts, does it not shock you that, and I don't know this to be fact, but didn't some teams pass up on Vrabel to go, like, the guy seems like a real deal football coach, and the newest thing is this kind of nerdy looking offensive minded guy that's a whiz kid, and like, let's make him a head coach, and it's like, how could you pass on Vrabel? Like, that is, to me, is shocking.
It is shocking, and you would think that these owners and GMs would know more,
man.
Because clearly the situation in Tennessee is not set up for head coaches to be successful, as they've already fired their head coach this year. Yeah. So the fact that he was able to take that organization, which has not been good since Steve McNair days, and Eddie George, and bring them to the playoffs and go on a few runs, should tell you that if you've got a tight ship, you've got a good organization.
Are you saying ownership is like too involved in Tennessee?
Yeah, 100%.
Same with Jets.
The Jets are, something else. Now, they did get a win, but that whole ship, you got to look at that and think to yourself, Sam Darnold is on the MVP board when it comes to odds right now. He was in your building, obviously, as a youngster. Geno Smith has had a tough year, but he was in your building at one point. And with Seattle the last years, he had a very good showing. Aaron Rodgers, who looked horrid last night, but prior to last night, when Team Owen Wilson needed him, he looked horrid. Prior to last night, he's had a very solid year. It's like, how come every single guy that leaves the Jets ends up being very solid? We'll see how Sauce Gardner does, but the Jets organization is something else.
It's a mess. New York football in general is a disaster. Dable got fired today. The Giants stink. It's crazy. Like, the Giants and Jets have been collectively terrible for years. Two of the 5 or 6 worst teams in the league.
No light at the end of the tunnel either.
None.
I would say that I think the Giants there is some excitement for the future. You know, when Scadaboo comes back next season, Neighbors comes back, Jackson Dart has kind of, you know, reinvigorated that team. But hopefully Dart learns from this. He's got to stop with these head first, I don't even know what you want to call it, style of play. Like, you're the quarterback of the New York Giants. Your job is not to go and spear people with the crown of your helmet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I hope that he kind of learns, because he's been real fun to watch, and he is an electric scrambler. So
oh, yeah.
We'll see.
Well, we got a big one tonight. Packers at home against the Eagles. Green Bay laying 1.5. Green Bay a 1.5-point favorite. And Owen Wilson's on the clock. This is a big one, man, because this makes it a baker's dozen if you guys fumble tonight.
Wow.
I thought it was already a baker's dozen.
No, it's 12.
12,
it's 12
right now. It's a proper dozen, but it could be a baker's dozen tonight.
Yeah, you guys you need a win tonight.
Get that
I'm sorry.
Hyundai Pony repping.
Get the car that you bought against the leased vehicle.
Parts.
And
Let's
get your
the
act
Hyundai
together.
Pony and put on the tunes and start bebopping our necks like we used to.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun,
You need a win tonight.
But Bobby Brothers.
Yeah. You know,
And be the Butabi brothers that we used to and make the right selection, which is
the Green Bay Packers. We're taking the points at home, Parts. We're going against Vic Fangio. You don't love that. You don't love it. I'm looking at you. We're going against Vic Fangio. I'm telling you, Parts.
We rarely go against Vic Fangio, but
rarely
tonight
go.
is a different night.
Yeah.
And tomorrow we will be bebopping our heads. The Butabi
Packers,
brothers are back.
I'm playing a gut feeling here. I'm playing a gut feeling. After getting bounced or smacked last week by Carolina, up in shambles, this is a good football team. You want to talk about a players-only meeting? I can promise you they had some closed-door meetings in Green Bay. And I think it's just fitting that Hayes' Packers are going to be the team that propels us, Parts, to 11 back into the Grey Cup week. Hey, you can go over the top. I know it's a tough one.
I'm not going to do that. No.
I think it's the right play. I have to be honest. I thought you'd take the Eagles. I think Green Bay, they play up or down to their competition.
I agree.
And they are, like the numbers would say, they've been better than Philly, this year. They're at home. It's under the lights at Lambeau. That place will be going nuts tonight. I like Green Bay. I think Green Bay wins this ball game tonight. So I think it's the right play. And I think it's a big statement game for Green Bay because they've had some, like that game against Carolina last week was terrible.
Yeah.
Like that was terrible. And LaFleur's under the gun. And even LaFleur, he wins games. Like he responds pretty well. And he's got to find a way to get that offense cooking. And they're still looking for some weapons, I think, to help out Jordan Love. But this feels like a big statement game for Green Bay tonight.
Yeah,
and a big statement game.
I think it's also a big moment for Micah Parsons.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this year, Micah Parsons, I feel like, he's had some great moments. He had some big plays here and there. But if he really wants to be accepted as a Green Bay Packer, there's no better time than right now on a Monday night at Lambeau Field against his old foe, the Eagles, to kind of show up and find a way to make a few plays to get this thing done.
Big time.
Parts, how much you hate it, man. We're going against Fangio.
It's something that we have been Philly kind of fanatics, if you will.
Yeah.
But what the hell, man? We got to switch it up a little bit.
That's what I thought. I'm like,
we got to get our heads bebopping side to side again, Parts.
Yes, I agree. And then this is the way I see it. Again, we're in tough here, Parts, but at the end of the day, we own the Hyundai Pony. Is that it? Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
We're not renting
Fire up
thing.
that pony, get the black smoke coming out of the bottom of that rusty thing, and let's, JP, do we have any Butabi brother music?
We should be playing that for you.
Night at the Roxbury. That's what it is.
Thursday's a greasy one. We got an extra game on the slate on Sunday for the Grey Cup.
That's your pick, too.
Parts,
you guys are on.
We need this one tonight. I'm going to be sitting there above Jay's thing, and I'm going to be
Do you want to
sweating
listen to these two jackasses tonight if we dump this one? I can't. I can't.
To be honest,
13 is insurmountable, man, because we just don't lose.
And they've been insufferable. They've been the classless scumbags that they have came to the forefront.
They are classless.
Listen, we win with class, we lose with class.
That's ridiculous.
That's a motto of ours, and we make sure. There it is. Look at
Let's go, Parks. We're going to win tonight.
Parks.
That's just
Yes.
it. That's what I needed.
Yes. Pop that hat, Partsy. Come on now.
Yes.
Hyundai Pony.
They're looking for anything right now.
They're so
looking for
desperate.
anything.
Hey, we
We're in
know.
a McLaren.
Hey, Noodles.
Yeah.
Don't act like you don't want to get in on this.
Believe
Go ahead,
me,
Noodles.
I'm in the back seat. You know me. I'm right
Why
there
would
in
you
the
want
back
to join
seat, but
these guys?
I
Are
don't
we going to
join
win
anything.
tonight? No. Yes.
You two brothers?
All right. All right, man. You guys need
Yeah.
it. You need some help. You know what you guys need? Some CDE. You know what that is?
I don't know.
Card Depot Energy. That's what you guys
God.
need. You need some
Oh,
Card
my God.
Depot Energy. Because my boy Al's brother is amongst the mob out there, and they love him. They love taking pictures. They're snapping
he's
pictures.
still
They're
not
getting
there, is he?
autographs. He's doing his thing, and he's picking winners, and I love it. So best of luck to you guys. I actually genuinely hope you're right tonight. I want the Packers to win. I think they will win. This is a pursuit for the top seed in the NFC, too, right? It's wide open. Seattle looks great.
Yeah.
They just won big yesterday against Arizona. Philly's right there. You got the Bears. You got the Rams. You got the Lions.
The Rams are nasty, boys, and they got a new kicker. Thicker Kicker's his
Yep.
name. The Thicker
Yeah.
Kicker.
All right.
Love
the pick is locked. Packers -1.5. Best
Parks.
of luck to you guys.
Let's do this, baby.
Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it.
There it is. The Butabi brothers. Luke Wilson. Locking in the pick. I like that pick. I think it's the right play.
Green Bay's not wearing those ridiculous. I
Not
would
that
say
I'm aware of.
ridiculous. I actually liked them. I thought they just looked weird. They looked like old goalie gear. There was some
Yes.
there was some brownish to it.
Yes.
But I liked them. They it kind of had a look for me. I don't know.
Well, they just overthink things, man.
Yeah,
like
that's
that's
what it
really a
is.
lot of what it is.
Dude, it's just all marketing.
It's all
and they want
marketing.
people buying the
get it.
jerseys.
I
and
get
it's
it.
like, we
Well-
want 6 different outfits.
I saw you guys talking about the Team Canada jerseys that were revealed, and I personally liked them a lot. I
Me
thought
too.
they looked great.
Dude, me too.
I thought
The people had to take the Twitter saying, burn the two, burn the black one and the red one. It's just like, what?
I thought they were
Just chill
sharp,
out.
but I didn't care one way or the other. I don't get that
They
invested.
look way better when you put a 29 and a MacKinnon and an A
Well,
on it. Like
that's what I was going to say. Could you imagine Connor McDavid in the stealth black flying through the neutral zone, and you're on
I like
Latvia trying
I
to
like
stop
the-
that guy?
I like the red better than I like the white. The
Oh,
red,
see, I
the
like
blood
the
red.
white, man. I think the white pops, Noodles. I
Well,
think
one of
they
the
all
other
look good.
complaints was the red jersey. They wanted the leaf white, and it was just like, those are the jerseys, man. Like,
Yeah.
just stop it.
I
Stop.
like the
People
blood
were
red
outraged
color.
at those things, man. I could not believe the comments I was reading.
I know, but there's always everybody's got something to say, whether it's positive or negative about anything. So the jerseys looked good. I didn't get invested too much in the debate about them, but when you brought that up on Friday, I was like, oh yeah, I guess. But I thought they looked sharp. That's the only thing. And you're right. I like the blood red because when I was in Calgary, we had those blood red jerseys, and I really thought they were sharp.
Okay.
They popped.
I like
And
the red
love
one, too. I think it looks good, yeah.
But the white is, listen, you're right. Throw
Not your
a
style?
captain on there. No, it's just simple. And I don't mind simple. That's simple and elegant.
Yep.
Take it. You
Think
know what I mean?
about if, like, Tom Wilson makes this team, and he's in the stealth black, and some guy on Czechia is coming through the middle of the ice,
And he destroys
and
him.
he just destroys that guy. How cool those unis are going to look. And I guess all the GMs are in town. Doug Armstrong, I think Pierre LeBrun just tweeted out, Armstrong and his staff had a 9-hour meeting today trying to knock the list of players down. And he said they're down to 35 to 40. That's still a lot of players.
From what?
Well, I'm sure they started at 50, 60,
Yeah, I
70,
thought they had-
75.
Yeah.
You know, and there's 15 guys who are locks that
Yeah.
you just know it. And they're probably debating over 10, 12 guys. And they got to determine with these young players what they're going to do. Are they going to bring the young guys or not? Because they all look great.
Well, dude, I've been saying Celebrini's a lock. If you're going to say Celebrini's a lock, then the other guy is too.
That kid scored a goal.
Bedard, you're saying?
Did you
He's
see
been
Bedard's
phenomenal.
shot? Did you see that ice level view of his
Yeah.
goal yesterday?
He
that
is
puck
doing.
was in the net and
I
out
know.
before he even moved. It was
And what I do
ridiculous.
for guys is I look at the goaltender's reaction, and it's like a violent reaction where it goes under the bar and in, and the goalie's in the butterfly, and their head's almost like buzzing. Like I did not see that, and the net shook, and it's violent, and it was like I had no chance. And that's when you know you got a sniper on your hands. It's violent, man.
There was a great view on Twitter of a fan who posted it, and it was from behind the goaltender. It was an unbelievable shot. And you're right, the goalie, I don't know if that was Talbot or Gibson, but they did the scarecrow on that. There was no chance they were making that save.
There's nothing.
Perfect shot.
Can't see it. Just hear it, and then there's a noise, and it scares the hell out of you.
That's the beauty of the sport, man. It cycles, right? Like those young guys are coming. You know, we talked about it last hour, like McDavid versus MacKinnon. Those guys are the kings. They're not going to be the kings forever. Doesn't work that way.
Right.
Like, you know, you get the crown for a while. It's like Game of Thrones. Someone else is coming for you.
Yeah.
And it's not that Bedard and Celebrini are there quite yet.
Yeah.
But in a year or two, they could be.
Yeah.
Like
and that's what you're talking about. Like when you're looking at position and what's available, you're probably talking about a Connor Bedard and then a couple of those right-handed shots that were on the Four Nations.
Right, like Konechny or something.
Konechny
like that.
and Jarvis. So is he going to take one of their spots? Because those are versatile players that can play in all situations.
Good players, and absolutely. It's not going to be an easy choice, but we're going to find out pretty soon. All right, Davis Schneider coming up. Best bet still to come. OverDrive continues. TSN 1050 and on TSN 4.
Now, back to OverDrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
Bets later in the hour, powered by FanDuel. We got a big Monday nighter tonight. We got the Oilers in action too. First time they played since getting embarrassed against Colorado on Saturday night. And the Raptors have been playing a lot better recently. I'm sure you guys saw the video of Brandon Ingram throwing his water bottle.
Yeah.
Which, you know, is a pretty violent throw. I get it's a water bottle. I just got an email from the NBA. He's been fined $25,000.
Well, dude, it's because the guy with the white hair and the glasses, I don't know if that guy.
Because it got him in the head? I guess, is that an employee or is that.
Dude, I don't know who that guy is, but that guy could, if that's just a fan.
That guy
could have made Brand. Yeah.
He works for the team, I believe.
Who cares, dude?
I hear you. I understand that. I get it. It could have been really bad. $25,000?
I know.
That seems like an excessive fine for a stupid water bottle throw. But
no kidding. Yeah, some pencil neck in accounting throws a water bottle on the ground. Nothing happens to old Daryl in accounting, does it?
No, I don't think so.
No,
not that I'm aware of.
The guy with the goggles on, you know what would happen. The guy with the goggles on shows up with a neck brace and says that there was sulfuric acid in there and his eyes are burned out. Like, you know,
that's right.
That guy is milking it, and he wants $250,000 for his.
Well, then go to Ingram and do that. You know, go to Ingram and say, you know, I don't know. I'm not advocating for extortion.
That's what happens when you do something like that. That guy with the goggles could make your life.
I guess you're right. That's the guy.
It's true.
I guess you're right.
Remember
maybe that's
Rodman
why the NBA.
Remember Rodman kicked that
cameraman,
right? Cameraman in the pills. Yeah, that guy got cash out of it.
Of course he did. Now that was violent, dude. The guy kicked him in the stones. Like this was this was a frustrated player. Stupid. $25,000 for throwing a water bottle.
Yeah.
Crazy.
He's lucky.
That's
lucky.
big money.
Yeah.
All right, it's been what has it been? 9 days since the World Series came to an end. I'm still talking with Blue Jay fans who are telling me they can't go back and watch highlights. They're definitely not going to go back and watch the game. And it's not that they didn't love the ride. It's that they're just still in disbelief. It ended the way it ended. They're still heartbroken that the Blue Jays didn't win. I'm curious how a guy who's actually playing these games, you know, feels about looking back on the action 8-9 days later. Here he is from the Blue Jays joining us over FaceTime. There he is, Davis Schneider. What's up, Davis?
What's up, guys? How you guys doing?
We're doing well. Have you allowed yourself to go back and watch Game 7?
No. The only time I've kind of really seen it is like one or two plays that pop up on my Instagram feed of like the Hayes catch or Rojas hitting the homer. But other than that, I try to stay away from it, but because it kind of makes me feel like my stomach a little turn. But yeah, I mean, I lived it, so I don't really have to rewatch it. So
it's part of the pain, Davis. Like a lot of people say this to me, I believe it myself, but to not come away with the ultimate prize and generally feel like you played better during the series. Like, do you feel that was the case, and does that make it more painful?
I mean, if we played better, we would have won. I mean, I know a lot of people say that, but you know, the Dodgers deserve to win that series. I mean, 7-game series for a reason. You know, obviously, you know, they're a great team over there, but you know, they made good plays when they needed to. I feel like that's what makes a championship team, and can't really talk bad about them. They deserve it. They won fair and square, and but you know, it still sucks, obviously. But you know, just that's baseball.
Well, the bench is cleared. The bullpen's cleared in Game 7. You know, you're obviously pumping the tires of LA, which you should. Everyone does. They've won back-to-back World Series. Was there animosity there? Like, how did it build throughout the series, kind of the way you and your teammates felt about playing the Dodgers?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the whole storyline before the World Series even started that, you know, it's David versus Goliath, obviously the Dodgers versus the Blue Jays. They have Ohtani, one of the best players of all time, on their team. And, you know, this is like one of these plays where, you know, he's coming up and in 3 times. Like, as a hitter, I'm going to get pissed off just as much as the pitcher. You're going to come in and hit me up and in 3 times. Obviously, I'm going to get mad. But, you know, it's baseball players are so funny, like bench is clear and everything like that. And 99% of the time, nothing happens. So it's just like, what are we doing here? We could have just saved ourselves the trouble of running out there and everything like that. But, you know, it gets the juices flowing a little bit. So I get it. And the fans kind of get into it and everything. But, you know, it's not like we're actually going like hockey players and actually fighting each other. So I'm like, just save ourselves the time and just go back to our benches at this point.
Davis, you guys had an incredible run, and the whole city and the whole country was behind you. Was it legit that you guys were a tight group? You could tell. I mean, baseball seems more of an individualistic sport, but you could tell the love in that dugout, the love in the room, the guys after in their media. There were tears involved. I mean, how tight was that group? And are you staying in touch in the group chat with everybody, or are you giving everybody a couple weeks reprieve and everybody's gone their own way?
Yeah, I mean, this team was special. I mean, I know a lot of teams say that after every year, but I mean, I truly believe that every single guy in that clubhouse loved each other. And you know, we still have a group chat right now. We still have fantasy football, so everyone kind of keeps in touch and everything like that. We don't talk baseball or anything, so that's kind of off the table. But we just talk about life and what the people are up to and everything like that. But you know, there's just a lot of good guys, and it sucks that it's awesome that Bieber, you know, signed back already. That was like a big thing. And because he is awesome. The day he got traded and he came over, he fit in just like that. And he's such a good guy, such a good family man. So it's good to have him back for at least one more year. And, you know, it sucks that Bassett is a free agent and Bo and a lot of other guys too. But everyone just got along with each other every single day. Love getting to the ballpark early. Love just playing cards with each other. Love just doing the little things outside of baseball with each other. I feel like that's why we're so good on the field, is because we just like being around each other. And you got to do that 9 months out of the year. So it was just a good time.
Is it full confidence with everybody? I mean, I guess the fear is, and we talked about it with management, trying to recapture what you guys had. Like, is there just full confidence that is all going to be there on the field, off the field, come spring training?
Yeah, I mean, I believe so. Obviously, you never know what to expect each year. But, I mean, to be honest, I mean, going into this year, I mean, just how well or bad we did last year, you know, coming in whatever place we did. I think it was last place in the AL East. So, like, we didn't really perform the way we wanted to as a group, and me personally as well. But, you know, going into spring training, we knew we had the right tools to do it. It's just a matter of putting them together throughout the year. And I feel like when we got on a roll, we were like, all right, we're one of the best teams in the league. So we kind of knew that in the middle of the year when we kind of went on that streak. And so we always had the confidence throughout the whole year. But now that we kind of made it and had the taste, I feel like, you know, the next step is to win it. So we have that, definitely our beliefs in ourselves. And, you know, I feel like everyone's kind of ready to get back to spring training and start all over.
With Davis Schneider of the Blue Jays. You mentioned a couple of the free agents a moment ago, and Shane Bieber opting in. He'll be back next year. What are the rules and regulations among players, you know, in baseball when it comes to contracts, when it comes to, you know, poking around on futures, and if guys want to stay, if they're going to stay? You know, what's the general kind of philosophy of MLB players when it comes to the business side of things?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I never been a part of it. Yeah, I mean, I'm still in. That was my second full year. So, but every guy has a right when they get to free agency to kind of explore their options and kind of do what's best for them and their family. So, like, I mean, I know Bo loved playing in Toronto, but, he has every right to kind of see what else is out there and kind of figure it out. But, I love playing in Toronto. So any guy that doesn't really know what it's like to kind of play there, I feel like just look at the team we had this year and kind of see how much fun we had. And the city's great. I know a lot of other players that come to Toronto love playing there, love playing in the city, love the stadium. So, like, it's a great place to play. And I haven't been anywhere else. I mean, I played almost every single ballpark, but being there every single day, it's truly something special. And hopefully, I can stay there my career. So, but you never know in baseball. So it is a business.
So, are you going to rent out your couch, or what are you doing there with Barger and all of that thought process? Because obviously, it made a lot of social media clicks and all of that type of stuff. How did that all go down? And was it just a seamless transition to have him come stay at your place?
And is it up for sale? What's the deal with that thing?
It's on display in the lobby of the hotel, that exact couch.
Yes. Full details here. What's up with this?
Yeah, full details.
Yeah, when we were coming back from Seattle, or not Seattle, but he just didn't have a room. We do our own jobs of picking our rooms and find our own place to stay, and I had the hotel room at the hotel, and he just didn't have a place to stay. So I was like, he asked me if he could stay with me, because he was staying with Miles for a couple of days. He was staying on his couch, and so it wasn't just mine. But then Miles' family was coming into town, so he didn't have a room.
Player?
Yeah, so Barger didn't have any family there, so he just asked me if he could stay with me for the next couple of days until he gets a room. And I was like, sure, I don't care. And then stayed on my couch for 2 nights. Ironically enough, he had the grand slam on the first night. After the first night, he slept there, and so he had to do it again. And but it was just funny. I mean, I didn't think it was a big of a deal until like the public kind of found out about it. But that's just Barger. That's kind of all I known about him. He's still 25. He's a 25-year-old kid, even though he has 3 kids. Right. But I thought it was funny, but I don't know. It's kind of blown out of proportion a little bit.
No, it's great, man. And the fact that he hit the grand slam as well just makes it so much better. You're at bat game, the first at bat of the game, first pitch of the game, Game 5, Dodger Stadium. You hit a home run to left field. There was a great video that went viral. I think I don't know who was shooting it. It's your dad. Was it your dad who had the camera? Okay, because you can hear your dad.
He has those Meta glasses on that can just film. Yeah, that's the view. But he had the glasses on, and I didn't even know he was filming. I didn't find out about it until after the game, where my phone was blowing up, and I got asked about it. But it is a funny video of just his reaction and everyone kind of cheering. It was a good one.
Incredible. And, famously, Blake Snell after the game said you guys got lucky. What was the game plan? Like, were you walking into the box saying, like, I'm swinging at this, I think he's going to throw me a fastball? Like, what were you preparing for before the at-bat?
Yeah, I mean, George, I said it before, he's probably one of the best leadoff hitters of all time. I mean, home runs-wise, he's second. So, like, he kind of knows what he's doing. And he always kind of preaches, like, you only get one first pitch. And it's funny because George kind of gets thrown. He can get thrown a slider, changeup, curveball all the time. Like, he doesn't really kind of know what's going to be thrown to him. But he always preaches just be ready from the first pitch when you're leading off. And I figured Snell was going to throw me a fastball just because he couldn't really locate it the first game when we played him. And so I figured he was going to try to establish the fastball early to try to get ahead and then kind of go to the changeup and the rest of the off speed. So I was sitting fastball, and, luckily he threw a strike to where I can actually put it. And, I mean, he was kind of right. I mean, baseball is all about luck. So it's just like a matter of if you're lucky or not, in my opinion. So I didn't really think of that. It was a big of a deal. I know a lot of people thought it was kind of like a shot at us, but, there's a lot of good hitters in that lineup, not just Vladdy, Bo, Kirky, Varsho, Ernie, Barger. So it's just like, obviously Vladdy's the biggest name, but it is what it is. I mean, it's himself competing, and he's trying to, do what he needs to do. But yeah, it was definitely a fastball that I was hunting for.
Yeah, well, and you got it, man. That was incredibly cool. Then Vladdy, what was it? 2 pitches later, hit his own home run, and then
on a fastball too. So, and then he kind of shot away from the fastball after that. Yeah,
Exactly. Well, it was an incredible run, incredible season. It's a shortened off season. You mentioned you've only been up in the bigs for a couple of years. Last year, you guys were done end of September, and you kind of knew you were going to be done probably early August, middle August. Like, how does this affect your off season plans when we're inside 100 days already before you guys have to be down in Dunedin?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit less golf up here. It's already kind of getting pretty cold. It's like about 40 degrees Fahrenheit, so I can't really get outside that much. But, that's what you play for. You want to play into November and kind of have a short off season. And that was my first ever kind of postseason where we kind of went on a run. So, I mean, I'm excited to do it, try to do it every single year. This is what you kind of live for and play for. So I got no complaints about it.
All right. Any good courses down in Dunedin? Do you get to play during spring training, or once you dial in, you show up? Is that it?
No, I mean, I show up relatively earlier than the due date is supposed to be, or the arrival date. So me and Ernie try to get as many rounds of golf in as we can before we kind of start playing games and try to go to the stadium and everything like that. So we definitely get our reps in before.
Awesome. Love it. Well, congrats on a great season, great run. We really appreciate you doing this. Have a great off season, and I'm sure we'll catch up again in the spring. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
You got it. Davis Schneider, the Toronto Blue Jays. I love that. Him and Ernie, man. Ernie Clement loves to play golf.
Loves the golf.
He was a stud hockey player, too.
Yeah, there was that highlight going around.
That's right,
goals.
The highlight. Yeah,
somebody put up his stats. Like, he like Rochester stud hockey player, or Buffalo or something.
Legit hockey DB page.
Yes.
Like, really good hockey player.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just love it. Like that. You know what? That team was so likable, and they were genuine. Like, Barger's sleeping on a pullout. Teammates are teasing him. He's 25 years old. He's a kid, but he's got kids
of his own.
3 kids at 25. Oh, that's work, man.
That's
work.
But he's a player,
man. For him, man.
He's a player. And listen, like you asked and brought up, and Davis would be aware of this. Barger's aware of it. Ernie Clement. They got to double down now. Like you proved it this year. You got to prove it again next year. You got to go out there and put up numbers, and you don't want it to just be a flash in the pan. But, it was a great season. Like, it was an incredibly memorable, great season. All right, Best Bets coming up. OverDrive continues. TSN 1050 and on TSN 4.
Now, back to OverDrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
Best Bets powered by FanDuel. Make your picks and assemble a same-game parlay in seconds on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Laying the points tonight, Packers at home. Favorite, I think Packers win outright tonight. I think they cover the number. Saquon Barkley under 76.5 total rushing yards tonight. Christian Watson over 42.5 receiving yards. I like Jordan Love to go off. I like the Packers to show up. I think they need to respond. I think it's going to be a great game at Lambeau tonight. 2 great teams. Monday nighter, can't beat it. That parlay paying plus 400. Best Bets powered by FanDuel. Same game parlay is now available for every NFL game on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Please play responsibly. 18 plus. Physically located in Ontario. All right, great Cup week as well. Out in the Peg. Yeah. It's going to be great. Sold out. It's going to be packed out there. Riders, Alouettes, credit to both teams. And we're going to be out there later this week. Cannot wait for that. Got a big one tonight. The Oilers are playing tonight. The Leafs are in Boston tomorrow. The Hall of Fame inductions tonight. What a night.
Yeah.
What a night.
Awesome.
Can't wait for it. Yep. All right. Thanks to everyone behind the scenes for helping out. We appreciate it. Everyone for tuning in today. TV, radio, podcast, web. We appreciate that. We're out of here. Enjoy your evenings. Enjoy the games tonight. We're back tomorrow at...
I don't believe so.
4 p.m.?
We'll chat then.